Hello my crafty friends, it's Beverly here over at Crafting Chaos, and today we're going to be showing you how to be making a doily. A doily can be used as an element on a card, but it can also be used on a scrapbook page and a variety of other craft applications. So what I'm going to do is show you the process to make the actual doily itself, but you could make your own doily selecting your own shape to make them more original and more suited to your own projects. So what we're going to do is we're just going to be using the basic shapes to create our doily. And the techniques that we're going to see aren't anything particularly new that we've not met before, but it's using techniques that we've learned to make this doily, which perhaps you've not thought of to use to make this particular embellishment. So what I'm going to do first of all is I've brought myself on a scallop circle, so that's going to be the basic doily shape, if you will. So that's my scallop circle, so it's got that fluted edge going around the edges, and I'm just going to move that off to the side because I don't need it. Oh, perhaps bring it back on for a minute, because I'm going to bring on now this clubs sign, and I'm using clubs because I think I'm going to do mine around sort of a playing card theme, my doily. And I'm going to put that club in that scallop up here. And I'm just going to make it ever so slightly smaller because I want to make sure it's in that scallop. And then I'm going to select that when I've just resized, when I'm happy with the size. And I'm going to edit and duplicate, or alternatively you could have hit D on your keyboard. I then need to go on edit and flip on the horizontal axis, and I'm going to move that down until it's in the corresponding opposite scallop at the bottom. Now you'll be thinking to yourselves, how do we know they're exactly in the right place? Well, we don't at this stage, but the steps that I'm going to show you next will ensure that those are central to that actual scallop. So the first thing we need to do is select both of those. And we've got them selected. Now I've moved the scallops circle out of the way, and we're going to align them on the vertical axis. So now that shape is actually directly central on this vertical line to that one. If I drew a line down there, we'd have symmetrical either side. And now I'm going to group them, and it's that bit that's important. So I can move that in now, and again you might be thinking, well, how does she know that that's level? I don't. So I can select both, and I'd go edit and center them on the vertical and also on the horizontal. So now those two shapes are central to that, but we don't want to be doing that just yet. I'm just showing you how it will work eventually. So I'm going to click on that, and what we next need to know is how many scallops round we've got from here to here. And if we count them, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we need 10 of these pairs. So we've already got one pair there, so we need to make 9 more duplicates. So that's hitting the key D on your keypad 9 times for a total of 10 pairs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that gives us a 10 in total. We select all of them, all 10 pairs, and go to edit, process the edit and center on the vertical axis, and then edit and center on the horizontal axis. So we can move them, and what we've essentially got now is a stack of shapes. So they've got all those are directly on top of each other, and that's what we want. So now we're going to start doing some rotating. Now, how do we work out the rotation? Well, there are 360 degrees in a circle, and we've got 10 pairs of shapes. So we have to take 360 and divide it by 10, which would be 36. That's quite easy maths. We're just knocking the naught off because it's divided by 10. And then, if we think about that though, these are just going to fit going round here, and they're going to do an opposite one in the opposite scallop. So what we actually need to do, although we wrote that 360 divided by 10 is 36, because we're only doing them for half of that, we need to half that number to 8, so it becomes actually a rotation of 18. So we take our first lot, so we click off, click on to make sure that we've only got the top layer selected. If we drag a box around everything, that's selecting the whole stack and we can move them independently. If we just stick on to the top one, we've only got the top layer selected, and then we can rotate by 18 degrees. Okay, so then we click back onto the top one, and then we want 2 times 18, which is 36. And we do that one. Click back onto the centre one, and this time we want 54, because 3 times 18 is 54. And then click onto the centre one again, and this time we want 4 times 18, which is 72. And then finally, on this side, we're going to do the next one, which is going to be 90. And that's that side done. Now, you could go on and go 108 and so on, adding on 18s, but I think it's easier to go back the other way now and go minus 18 on that side. Click off and click on the centre. Minus 36. Click off and click on the centre. Minus 54. Click off and click on the centre. And for the final time, minus 72. Now, all of those are now evenly spaced, perfectly angled apart, but they're all separate pairs. So what we need to do is group them. So now we've got a group of club in a circle, if you will. If we also now select the main shape for our doily and go to edit, centre on the vertical, edit, centre on the horizontal, that's put them in perfect position for that shape that's underneath. Now what we need to do is just making sure that the clubs are on top. So if I click that and it selects the clubs, we know that we've got the right one on top. Then we select both, go to edit, process the overlap and hit subtract. And what that's going to do is punch those out, like hitting it with a club punch going round the circle. It's taking it a little bit of time. It does seem to be working a little bit slowly today for some reason, but we'll bear with. Okay, it's done that. So now we've got the one shape. It did take rather a long time, and I'm going to put a colour in it so you can see how that's punched those shapes out. I'm just going to save this because I have had a little bit of a problem with the software today, and it just seemed to be very slow and it has crashed a few times. So if I'm going to save it, just in case it crashes part way through, and then I'm not going to lose everything. So we've done the club. Now I'd like to do the heart next. So I'm going to bring on a heart. I'm going to resize it, and I'm going to flip it on the horizontal axis so that the point's facing up. Now, I could do it directly underneath, but what I'd like to do is put it so that it's in between those two clubs. Now, if you think when we started here, we were at 0 and we rotated it round by 18. If I now rotate that shape by 9, that will make the gap in between them become the top of that shape, just to get the position. So I can now bring in my heart, and I'm going to resize it a little bit because I want to make sure that it does fit there. Okay, so you can just, it doesn't matter if it's not perfectly aligned at this stage, we're just getting that rough position between the distance between the two hearts. I'm going to duplicate it, I'm going to flip it on the horizontal axis and move it directly across from the last one. So I'm happy with the position of those. I'm going to select both, and we're going to move that top shape away, and then I'll select both of the hearts, line them up on the vertical axis so now they're dead centre to each other, and then we're going to edit and group them. So now that they're grouped, like we did last time, we need 9 copies to make 10 in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then we're going to draw an imaginary box around them all to select them all, and we're going to line them up in the vertical and the horizontal to make that stack of shapes. I'm going to click off and click on, And now I can do my rotation, starting at 18, click off, click onto the middle one again, 36, click off, click onto the centre, 54, click off, click onto the centre, 72, click off, click onto the centre, and the last one for this side is 90, and then click off, click onto the centre. Then it's going to be minus 18, click off, click onto the centre, minus 36, click off, click onto the centre, minus 54, click onto the centre, and for the final time at this side, minus 72. So now we've got our hearts all positioned, beautifully spaced and perfectly at the correct angle away from each other. And then I'm going to group them all together, hit the other shape, line those two shapes up centrally, vertical and horizontal, so one's on top of the other, highlight both and go to edit, process the overlap and subtract, and that will punch out those heart shapes. And then I'm just going to click save again to save over what we've done, so just in case. And it's always a good idea to save your work. I say that and then forget to do it myself many a time, and after I've spent a lot of time actually working on a file, I end up losing my work. So I do suggest you do save your work on a regular basis, just in case if your internet goes a bit skewy or something goes wrong with the software, you're not going to lose all the work that you've just put in. So this time I'm going to make my diamond shape slightly short and sort of narrow, and a little bit shorter than that, so it's a completely different shape than what we brought in. But remember, that's the beauty of the scan and cut, you can adjust it to suit your needs. And I'm going to again rotate that shape by 9 so that I can get that diamond shape. So now that we've got our pair of diamonds, we're going to make another 9 duplicates. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, for 10 in total. Select them all, line them up vertically and horizontally so that you've got a stack of shapes. Then we're going to click on the top one and we're going to rotate as previous. So first by 18, then click on the centre one, then by 36, centre one, 54, centre one, 72 and 90. Then we're going back the other way, minus 18, minus 36, minus 54 and minus 72. So now that we've got our diamond shapes, we can now select all of those, edit and group them. You can close that down for a minute. Then we're going to select the main shape, edit, line them up vertically and horizontally, and then edit, process the overlap and subtract, and that will punch out our diamond shapes. Okay, so now we're looking like that. So what we need to do next is the last shape that I'm going to do is the spade. So I'm going to bring on the spade, which is here, but I'm only going to put a few of these in because obviously it's getting a bit more crowded now at the centre. So what I'm going to do is just bring that one in, and I think I'm just going to put 4 of these just at the centre. So I'm going to duplicate it and flip it. It's just the software seems to be very, very slow and very glitchy today. So I'm going to move that one, move this into position, make sure that they're not touching, eyeball them, centre them up, drag them across. I'm going to group them and I'm going to duplicate. I'm going to line one up on top of the other, centre and vertical, click off, click on, and this time I've got one rotation to do and it's just 90 degrees and that puts them equidistant. I'm going to group them, the four, put the properties out of the way, bring in the other shape, click on the spade, click on that one, centre vertical, centre horizontal, and then edit, process the overlap and subtract. So now we've created our own bespoke doily, and what you could do now is you can see underneath the mat, so you can see what colour would show through. This could be good for like if you were doing a card themed greetings card for a mail, or it could be nice on a poker night or something like that for going on a scrapbook page, or it's just a nice embellishment that you can just cut out and have as little coasters for if you're having some friends round to your home for a poker night. What I'm going to do now is show you how to make a matting layer so you wouldn't have all those holes on it if you were going to turn it into a coaster. So you'd highlight it, go on to the process, create an offset line, and I want to go, maybe I'm going to go 0.08 inches and I want it outwards because I want it slightly bigger. Say OK. I'm going to change the colour so you'll be able to see it, and we'll change it to green. Edit, send to the back, and now you can see that's what your shape would look like. So that's it for your doilies. I'm not going to go through it making a different one, because all you would do if you wanted to change your theme is change your shapes that you're actually putting in there. You've got lots of basic shapes that you could do. If you wanted to do one with lots of teardrops and pear shapes and teardrop shapes, or even little petals, you could do it like that. So there's lots and lots of different shapes you could use and put them into your doily, get him to punch them out like so. Remember, that can be resized. At the moment it's 8 by 8, but you could make it about 6 by 6 and so on. So you can make it bigger or smaller, and that would be a good working file. So it's the process that I wanted you to get out of this one, not the actual necessarily making the one that I've made, although I will make this one available down on my blog at Beverly at Crafty Chaos, Beverly 10 Crafty Chaos, or Beverly 10 Blogspot. I always put a link to my blog on my descriptions underneath my videos. So if you want to head over there to download this file, you can use it for free on your projects. The only thing I ask is that if you please don't sell my files, either bundled or individually. That I'd appreciate that. But you're more than welcome to make them into your projects, sell your projects by all means. But that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm sorry that the software's been a bit problematic, shall we say. Sometimes it is. It could have been that their end. It might be at my internet connection end that slowed it down a little bit. Okay, so I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. As always, please remember to like, share and subscribe, and give me a thumbs up. It does help to grow the channel. Thanks.